have my mind pretty set on it. So right now I'm on an MT09. This is mine. I've owned this for a little less than a year. But I'm ready for a bigger bike, more power, and you know, I'll touch on that in a second. So I do want a bigger bike. I am looking at a 1000, which I've asked a lot of people about their opinion on the 600s and the 1000s, and I'm looking at a ZX10 or an R1. This is a Yamaha. This is my first ever motorcycle. So I might end up going with an R1, also because, man, like, who doesn't love that cross-plane sound? That bike just roars when you put a full exhaust on that thing. And not only that, it looks absolutely sexy, even though they stopped making those bikes. You know, might as well get one, right? Why not? I mean, maybe later down the road it'll be worth some value. So I've had conversations with people about 1000s and 600s. Now, it's very two-sided on this subject, because some people will say 600s, but before I say that, 600s are plenty of power. This bike is plenty of power for the street. This bike is very torquey, and one thing that I like about this bike compared to like a 600, because of the torque on it, you know, on a 600, you're living in the high RPM range just to get the most power out of the bike. You know, you're getting, like, if you go in a corner, you got that bike screaming just to get out of the hole. And don't get me wrong, it's enough power for the street, but this bike just has a little more power than a 600, and I just want to feel more. The other side of the subject, some people will say, I had a 1000, but I went down to a 600 because I want to bang through the gears. Because from what I was told, when you're on a 1000, the bike is overkill for the street. It's stupid fast, and you don't even use all the gears. Like, the only time maybe you'll use 5th and 6th is if you're like topping the bike out, or you're going like really fast. Other than that, you're using gears 1 and 2, and you're maybe cruising in 3 or 4. That's it. That's what I've been told. You're cruising in 3rd gear, maybe 4th gear. And now I have to weigh out my options here, right? Going, okay, do I want to get a 600 because that's plenty of power for the street and I can have fun and bang through the gears? Or do I want to get a 1000 that costs like, I don't know, like 19 grand out the door, and then take a risk of going, you know, getting that bike and then going, man, this is ridiculous. Who needs this much power? This is stupid. No, it's more fun riding a slow bike fast than a fast bike slow. You know what I mean? Those kind of bikes, you know, 1000s, those aren't meant to, you know, go to the gym and just city cruise. You know, those bikes are meant to, you get on it, you haul ass, you play around. It's just a very dangerous toy. And then the other side of me says, you know what, maybe I want a 600. Maybe it's just enough for me. Actually, enough for anybody. Say, I'm not getting a 600 because there's not enough power. Yeah, they're lying to you and they're lying to themselves. Oh my God, it is so cold. And here in a second, I will get off my bike and walk you around what mine looks like and what's done to it. And I love this bike. I would hate to see it go, but I'm ready for full fairings. I'm ready for that sport. I'm ready to be tucked like this. You know what I mean? I'm ready to get it. Oh my God, my hands are freezing. All these cars blowing by me are not helping. I didn't turn the noise canceling on, and when I was on the interstate, oh my God. Yeah, Oh, yeah, when I was on the interstate in my last video, the wind did seem kind of loud. I saw a good amount of comments actually saying massively underrated, talking about me. Yeah, when I read comments like that, it just brings a big smile to my face, because maybe because I am the content creator uploading this video, but when I watch my video or upload a video, to be honest, I think it's lame. Like, I'll watch it, I'm like, this is dumb, but I guess people like it, so, you know, I guess I'll just keep doing what I'm doing and going with the flow. Alright, I'm gonna pull off. Let's see where I can pull off at. Show this bike off a little bit, in case if anybody wants to know what the MT09 looks like, or doesn't know what it looks like. Let's see, I could probably... I'm gonna turn into here, actually. I've never been in here before. You know what, we can actually get a perfect shot in the sun here. That's perfect, absolutely perfect. Don't mind me shooting a video. Alright, so this is the MT09. This is what my bike looks like. I got the all black version. This is a 2021. And hopefully the shot looks pretty good. I got the sun right behind me, beaming down on this bike. I think this bike looks absolutely amazing. So just by looking at it, I got my TikTok logo right there that a buddy made for me. I do have a full exhaust Black Widow. This bike is tuned. So actually, luckily enough for me, that exhaust came with this bike. So it did save me a lot of money. And it did come with a tune. A lot of people, when they look at this bike, they think that it is a MT07. A lot of people will come up to me and be like, what kind of bike is this? I've never seen this before. And then I'd be like, yeah, it's an MT09. They'd be like, oh, I never heard of it. And then some people will come up and ask me, is it a 07? I'm like, it is not. So I guess, and I can see why a lot of people ask that. Whenever I go into a dealership, a lot of people, I don't really see people selling a lot of MT09s, mostly just the 07s. Maybe it's hard to sell the 09s because how much power these bikes have, like the torque on them. If I'm not mistaken, this bike makes 69 foot-pounds of torque, and a 1000 makes like 84 foot-pounds of torque, so it's not too far from it. What else? I got this awesome fender eliminator right here. This is Rage Cycles, I believe, so I'm not going to get too low. I'm trying not to show off my license plate. But it is very tucked. It's very visible if somebody's behind you. But what I like about it is you don't get tolls. And the turn signals are right here. So this is the right one. The other side is left. I have the aftermarket turn signals up front. I think I bought those from TST Industries. So the regular turn signals on this bike look like, I call them big lollipops, because they stick out like this far. They're the same as the rear turn signals, and they're so flimsy and floppy. So like when you're riding, going down the road and hitting bumps, they're just flopping everywhere like this. It's disgusting. I do not have a windshield on this bike. As you can see, I took it off because it came with the OEM windshield, and it was like this high. It was absolutely ugly, and I still have not bought a windshield for this, or a windscreen for this bike yet, because the one I want is like $200, and I'm not spending that just yet for this bike. And I probably won't, because I did talk about, you know, possibly getting an upgrade here in maybe about 3 months. It's showing off the dust on this bike. It's about time to wash you. Another thing, I got a radiator guard on the front here. This was actually a very great investment that I made, because I learned the hard way. I was going down the interstate. I was getting off the interstate, actually, and went to my buddy's house, and I went to go downshift into 5th gear, and the shifter was very slippery. Like my boot, I went to go downshift, and my boot just went like this. Like it went down and out, like completely off it. So I looked down at my my TFT screen to see if the bike took 5th gear. It did, but you know, on the TFT display, you got your gear indicator here, and then your operating temp like right below it in the corner. I noticed that it was higher than normal, so what ended up happening, and I looked down, and the whole left side of my bike was covered in coolant, very hot coolant, and thankfully I wear gear, so I didn't have any type of burns. I didn't even feel it going down the road, but the whole left side of this bike was completely covered in coolant, really hot, and I guess what happened was I was going down the interstate and the rock got kicked up and hit the radiator and busted it. So I tried buying a new radiator, and I did. Came into the mail. It wasn't for this bike, so then the radiator had to come off either way if I was installing a new one. So this is the radiator that got busted, and I actually went and got it welded back together, which I didn't even know that was a thing till somebody told me. It was like a $50 fix. Never had an issue since. But, you know, other people, you know, if you took this bike to a shop, they would go, I hope you're not bringing it to a track day. Got these aftermarket mirrors right here. These came with the bike, and the previous owner took the original ones off the bike, which I'm glad he did, because in my opinion, I think this looks better. Oh, and I forgot one more thing. I got these tank grips on the side, which if you do not own a set of tank grips on your bike, please do it. You will see a massive difference, because before I put these on, my leg would just slide around this tank up and down. But now, because it's, you know, it has that texture, it just absolutely just sticks to your legs, and your legs just don't move. It's just awesome. The difference, little things like that just make a huge difference. You'll see. If you don't own a pair right now, you need to buy one and install it, and you will see what I'm talking about. This one here in the middle, it doesn't really do anything for me, because on these bikes you don't really lean over. For a sport bike, yeah, might be more useful for you than me. Anyways, let's go ahead and let's get back to it. Let's get going. Make sure my bag is closed. Oh man, I love the quick shifters I love quick shifters in general. I'm so glad they started putting quick shifters on bikes, because if I'm not mistaken, I think a lot of bikes used to not come with quick shifters, and you'd have to buy one and install it. And I'm so glad they come from factory now, because man, they are awesome. And it's so satisfying too. The auto blip, woo! Guy's staring at me after I just got done weaving in the road. I wonder if that pissed him off. I don't really care. Is he gonna be one of those people that, like, when you're having fun minding your own business, that he'll pull up next to you and be like, oh, you mother effer, I see you riding reckless like that, you're gonna kill somebody, what is wrong with you? As soon as we get to that dotted line, I'm passing them. Every time we come around the... That's what I'm talking about. Finish the runoff right. Alright, well, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it.